Hi friends, welcome back. It's Marsha with Buy Sell Plan. How are you doing? How was the month of November for you? Please let me know in the comments below. If you hit your goals, I would love to know. So November definitely taught me a lot about what's working and what isn't in my business. So in this video, I'm going to share my exact sales activity numbers, what I learned from my top 3 goals, and how I'm setting myself for a strong start to January. So if you are ready to get more intentional with your goals, this video is for you. All right, let's get started. So we are doing our monthly recap today. First up is recapping last month and recapping the current quarter, which is the last quarter of the year. So as usual, I did an analyzing session before filming on a separate note paper. And this is our winter themed note paper that we have in our shop right now. And I just love it with the snowflakes. So pretty. All right, so let's flip to, oh, and by the way, I set my planner up for the holidays and I think it looks so cute and cozy. I cut these out of a magazine and I think that they were for like embroidery or something, but I just thought they looked so nostalgic and I knew that I wanted to use these in my planner for the season. So I've got one in here with the reindeers. These ribbons aren't really staying put, so I might have to figure something else out for that. But anyways, I made this last night with some stickers from a Happy Planner sticker book and some gold ribbon that I bought from Michael's, and then I laminated it. And I think it's just adorable. And I didn't want this to be Christmas themed necessarily, so it's more winter themed. So baby, it's cold outside, it says, and then you've just got like your skates. And these, I guess, can be kind of Christmassy, like little candies, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing yet for January, so I thought I'll just keep it neutral for winter and I might use it in January as well. And then this is a Christmas card that I trimmed down to put in here, and I think that looks so pretty. And then I have our Christmas dashboards. So these are in the shop right now. If you are interested in having these in your planner, I love them so much. They're so cute. This is new as well. So this is a new Christmas dashboard that we just added yesterday, I think it was. And isn't it so cute with the pink Christmas trees and the snowflakes? Got pink snowflakes and gray stars. And I just think it is so cute and very subtle. I like the muted tones. And then I have this one in here and this one. So like I said, these are all in our shop and we are still doing our Black Friday sale until Monday, December the 1st. So no code necessary right now. Just pop on 30% off everything. Okay, let's get down to business. Oh, and I changed the washi tape that I had on the top of my top tabs to be more, they're not necessarily festive because they're like pink tones, but they are festive, but they're not specific to Christmas. So I could use these all year round really if I wanted. All right, so first up is recapping what my goals were for November. So my top 3 goals: buy, sell, plan, my real estate business, and my wellness always. So for buy, sell, plan, my goal was to complete I'm working on a CEO life planner and my goal was to finish that, but I didn't because Black Friday was the priority. I was feeling pretty ambitious when I set these goals. So the CEO life planner did not happen because it was Black Friday was the 100% focus for the month. And I wanted to do a freebie with purchase, but we just ran out of time and couldn't create something quick enough to get it in the shop. So now we know this was our first Black Friday. So we've been in business for a year now with Buy Sell Plan, and we weren't 100% ready when we started last year. And so we did not take part in the Black Friday sale. So this was our first Black Friday. So it was a lot of learning. It was fun and exciting, and it was a lot of work to get everything ready. So we took lots of notes so that we know what to do for next year and when to start planning. So we definitely started planning a little bit later than what we probably should have to be able to do everything that we wanted to do for the shop. So that's how we did with that. And then for real estate, my goal was mainly to I did everything. I accomplished everything in my real estate for my real estate goals, which was great. So we got our Christmas cards. I actually did them yesterday. I spent probably 3 hours. I sat at my desk. I had my iPad on. I was watching a show that I'm really into right now and did all of my Christmas cards in one go. And I think we had about 125. You guys, I was so exhausted when I was done and I had to stretch because my back hurt. Like I took lots of breaks. I got up and moved around and did some like mini stretching, made a snack here and there, that type of thing. But yeah, that was a lot to do in one day. And I had already done a work day too. So anyways, I'm glad that they are done. And then second goal was to plan our pop-by so we do know what we're doing and when we're going to be delivering those to our clients. And then my goal was to do lead generation 2 to 3 times a week. And I did. So in the first week, I did 2 times, but then the second week, 4 times, 3 times in the third week, and 4 times in the fourth week. So total all of that up, I definitely did my lead gen as many times as my goal was. And I didn't set a goal for how many contacts or appointments or things like that. My main focus was just to be consistent. And my bare minimum was 1 hour. No matter how I was feeling, at least 1 hour of focused lead generation time. And I accomplished that. There was a lot of times I did 1.5 to 2 hours, but then there were days, my low energy days, that I just did 1 hour. And I'm very proud of myself for doing that. And then my wellness goals were focusing on my evening routine and then journaling 2 to 3 times a week. And if you've been following me along all month and watching my planning with me each week, you'll know that those are pretty much out the window. They were hit and miss. As you can see here, evening routine was not, I did it a few times, but I was not consistent. And then same with my journaling. I was not consistent with that. All right. So those did not happen. So yeah, great for my real estate business, but not the other areas of my life. Although it was a good buy sell plan month because it was our first Black Friday has been so successful. So happy. We were reviewing the analytics last night and we're like, holy cow, I can't believe how many people like our inserts. And it just makes us so happy, you guys. So thank you to those of you who do use our inserts. It just warms our heart. It makes us so happy that our inserts are out in the world helping other people. It's just so amazing. All right, so that's how I did with that. So basically, all I can say with my wellness here is like I just didn't make it a priority. There was no other reason. I wasn't in the mood and I was just going with the flow of my evenings. And I'm very much that kind of a person. I have to want to do it. Otherwise, I just won't do it, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just wasn't in the mood. It's like, I didn't want to journal because I had it written down. And I remember last year doing that. And even at the start of this year, I would feel that pressure of, well, I have to journal because I can't have a gap. Like I have to have, when I'm going through my journal, like it's got to be chronological. I have to see each date every day. I can't skip a day. And then it started to feel like a chore. So, and I didn't want that. So then I started more journaling based on like if I felt like it, because then it would be a really good journal session and I wouldn't be going through the motions, right? Like I would be more intentional. And that worked for a really long time this year. And then lately I just haven't been in the mood to journal. I haven't been in the mood to sit down and write out my thoughts so I just didn't. So yeah, no excuse, just didn't. All right, my activity numbers. I didn't hit any of my activity numbers, you guys, even though I was consistent, right? One would think, well, you were consistent. How come you didn't hit your activity goals? Well, that's a very good question. So my goal was 169 contacts. I missed that by 9. For leads, it was 10. I got 4. And then for appointments booked and held, I did 1 out of 4. And then they haven't signed with us yet and no firm deals yet. So I followed up with them this past week and they're going to be following up with me next week. So hopefully when I do my recap for next month, I can say that they have signed. Fingers crossed. Send that out into the universe, please, that they will sign on with us. So that's how I did with my activity numbers. Now, I didn't hit any of them. My goals were set halfway through the month. So I wasn't able really to be 100% intentional with my numbers because I've just been working on my business plan. And when did I go to our business planning clinic? It was not this week. I think it was the 13th, was it? Yes, it was the 13th. So really kind of halfway through the month is when I went to the business planning clinic. Now I had my stats analyzed from this year done before the business planning clinic, but since then I've been perfecting my business plan. And for now, I just have them in this beautiful Tanya Plans. I think it's the Genia binder. She gifted this to me to promote, and I do have a video on this. I will put it up in the cards if you would like to watch the unboxing of this beautiful binder. So I have my inserts, a lot of inserts for 2026. I'm just housing them in here until I'm ready to set my system up for next year. So I have my core values done. I have my core values done. I have my top 3 SMART goals. I just need to elaborate. So that is started. My big why, like my big motivation, my mission and vision. I've got my stats analyzed from last year, previous year reflection, and then my new goals. So goals have been set, right? And then this is the breakdown. I still need to do my habits and routines, my ideal schedule, and then my action plan for 2025. I didn't print that out, so I need to print that out and add that in here. So I've been reflecting a lot and getting really real with myself as far as my goals and making sure that they are realistic. My goal is to make 2026 my best year yet in my real estate business and of course in Buy Sell Plan. It's going to be year 2 of us having our shop, and I want both businesses to be successful. I feel really good and really clear going into 2026 with my businesses, and I'm very excited and very fired up. All right. So yeah, so I wasn't able to be 100% intentional with my numbers because I really wasn't 100% sure on what they were the entire month. So for example, when I did this, I felt really good. Like I was so consistent with my lead gen. And then when I saw that, oh, I missed my contact goal by 9, is because I wasn't paying attention to how many contacts I needed to do each day or each week, right? Because I didn't really know that number yet. And in fact, really, like my contact goal, for example, is 1864 for the year. So if I do 1864 divided by 12, it works out to 155 contacts per month, right? So really, I did hit it. However, I'm setting my goals for each month based on 11 months, not 12, because it's not realistic for me to work all 12 months of the year. I know throughout the year there will be 4 weeks that I'm not going to work, right? Vacation, maybe I'm not feeling well, I want to account for those things. So that's why it went up to 169. So at first I was like, oh, awesome. I surpassed my goal by 5, but then I had to erase it because I changed that because I forgot that no, it's 11 months. Anyhow, but now that I know what my numbers are, I'm able to be 100% intentional and focused on that. All right, as far as my goals for December, so the first 3 weeks are going to be focused and intentional. So real estate pretty much shuts down during the Christmas season, right? So I really have, because December starts on a Monday, which I love, I really have 3 full weeks, which is great. So the week of the 22nd and the week of the 29th, I won't be working because that's going to be Christmas time, family time, etc. So I've got 3 full weeks to be 100% focused and intentional with my goals so I can relax and enjoy the holidays. So I've got my sales goals written out here. I want to focus on making up my 9 contacts. I don't want to fall behind on that at all throughout the year. So I want to make those 9 up. As far as my leads, I missed them by 6. So at first I thought, well, could I do 16 leads in December to make up my deficit? But that's a lot. Even if I don't hit 100% of the lead goal, if every person that I'm speaking to is quality and every conversation that I have is intentional, then I'll be okay. I do, however, want to make up one of my appointments booked and held. So I do want to book 2 appointments. It'd be great if I can book them in the month of December. But if not, it's understandable with this time of year unless someone absolutely has to sell. But I want to set my January up. So that's what that's about. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to be time blocking each working day to make sure that I'm getting in my lead gen, my daily administrative tasks, so I don't fall behind in that, market intel, client work, and inbox zero. You should see my email right now. It's a little bit embarrassing. So yeah, I need to make that a priority again. Time block each week. So this was time blocking for each day, and then for each week, I need to time block for content planning and content creation, focused buy sell plan work, and having a business meeting with my husband. He's my business partner every week as well, so that we have our finger on the pulse of everything in both businesses so that nothing falls through the cracks. All right, and then I've got my top 3 goals here for December. So for real estate, it's focusing on my activity numbers and setting up January, getting our pop buys done this month, and then refining our system. So taking a look at our listing and buyer presentations, our after sales procedures, all the communications that we have with our clients. We had a huge postal strike this time last year and then kind of off and on this year. So we fell off the wagon a little bit with mailing business cards and house anniversary cards and things like that. So this is part of our refining our systems, is to get back to the basics with all of that. And then for buy sell plan, I want to focus on some winter section covers. The floral section covers that we have in our shop now have been doing so well ever since we released them. I think we released them at some point in the summer, and they've been doing so well. So we want to get our some winter ones out. And then my CEO Life Planner, I want to get that done by the end of December. And then for wellness, having screen boundaries again, because I have been on my phone at night. I was doing so well, and then I just fell off. So I want to get back to that. Reading 3 times a week, and then making time for more creative time. I just love spending time with my journals. I'm getting into creative journaling. I'm making junk journals. So I want to make sure that I'm making time for creative time at least once a week during my downtime. All right, so now I am going to write out my goals. Take a sip of tea. I'm drinking an Echinacea Plus, it's called, and I'm feeling fine. Usually I drink Echinacea tea when I'm not feeling well, but this, I actually like the taste. It's Echinacea with spearmint. It's so good and refreshing. Like, I feel hydrated after, I feel really good after. So that's what I'm drinking right now. If you have a cozy drink, please let me know what you're drinking. It's been snowing since Thursday. So today's Saturday as I'm filming this, and it finally feels like winter. We got a huge dumping of snow over a 24-hour period, and so far it's still sticking. And so yeah, that's when I crave like a warm tea. But yeah, I'd love to know what you're drinking. Let me know in the comments. All right, so I'm just going to write in my goals here real quick. Okay, all done. And then as far as what my quarterly goals are, I have been doing that. So some things have been complete, a couple things have been completed, a couple other things are in progress, and the other ones I haven't done yet. And my main focus for this quarter is not forcing results and following my own rhythm, right? So basically my thought on that is every action that I take now by following my own rhythm is creating compound clarity so that my future self doesn't have to hustle. I don't want to be reactive in my business. I want to be ahead of things and not feel like I'm behind the 8 ball because I've been forcing and pushing and not tuning into my own energy. So far, so good. All right. That's how I'm doing. And then as far as recapping year to date, I didn't do that because November really is the first month of the year for me as far as my sales numbers. I didn't do a January to November because the goals I have for November are not the same as what they were the rest of the year. I don't know. I still might put it in. We'll see. I have thought about making one of these where it goes from November to October instead of January to December. But then I would have to have 2 versions in the shop, right? Because if you're not in real estate, then you might have a January to December fiscal year. So yeah, that's why I haven't done that yet. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Should I? Be curious to know. I know that I have a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, but not necessarily a lot of real estate agents who buy our inserts and who are following along here on YouTube. So if that would be valuable to you, please let me know. All right, so that's how I did there. Now it's time. So yeah, I pretty much have done all of these here. Recap last month, recap current quarter, year to date, set next month's goals, did that, and now it's time to schedule my month and complete my master task list. I need to decorate, so I'm going to do that real quick. And I don't think there's a whole lot to schedule in December, so this shouldn't take too long. And then do my master task list. All right, I am done. Okay, so my month is set up. I've got my Q4 goals in here. this month's goals and then broke some of them down weekly. And these were based on what I had written out here that I want to focus on and time block for each day and week. So I put those in there so that they are top of mind. I'm scheduled out, and I added a couple cute Christmas stickers that are my pink themed. Not much going on because these 2 weeks are going to be for the holidays. Our son is coming from down east to spend time with us. I cannot wait to have the whole family together. So I want to be completely present for these last 2 weeks. So these 3 weeks is going to be 100% intentional. And my master task list is done. All right. I can't believe the last month of the year. All right. I'm going to put my goals in here. I guess I can take this one out because that month is over. Oh, I think I don't need any of these recaps in here. I have to get better at taking out old information that I don't need because my planner tends to get chunky. All right, so all I have to do right now is my November review. I will do that real quick. All right, November review is done. And then last but not least was my part of my KPIs is my numbers. So I've got all my activity numbers in here for November and then my social media numbers. I lost Instagram. I just find that so weird. Like, look at this month here. I jumped in October by 131 followers. That was my highest month yet, and then lost 29. So I'm looking back at the content that I posted in October, and I know what it was that got me a lot of followers, and I need to do more content like that. I did this carousel post that was all about how if you struggle with being consistent with planning, how it's not your fault. It's probably because you've never been taught how to plan with intention. I did not expect that carousel post to do as well as it did. I had the most engagement out of any post I've ever done. It was crazy. I swear the entire month of October, I was replying, and I didn't have time to post anything else. And my goal was like each week to post something related to that to build my audience and drive traffic to the website and, focus on the consultation services that we have started. And I couldn't keep up. So Ryan and I are looking at automated reply, like software that you can use for that. So we started to look into it. So yeah, so we'll see. But I've got so many ideas on how to grow Buy Sell Plan. Ryan and I both, we talk about it all the time, and we're very excited for the future with this business. So stay tuned. I think it's important when we set a whole bunch of goals to focus on like what is your one thing that you are going to be focusing on moving into the next month. I think that that's important because otherwise it can be overwhelming, right? So my one thing, if I were to choose out of all the goals that I set, is for my sales and activity numbers for my real estate business, to focus on that. So had I been focused on that, because I missed my contact goal by 9 this week, I thought today before I started filming, I'm like, could I get 9 contacts today? Yeah, I could. Then I thought, no, I have so many other things that I want to do today. We're going to be putting up our Christmas tree today. I had to do this video today, and I still need to edit this video today so that I can get it up on YouTube tomorrow, which is when you will see it on Sunday. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to push it. But had I known that at the beginning of the week, there's a couple days this week that I could have pushed for a couple more contacts, right? So that's my one focus this week. I'm going to set up my habit tracker for the month, and my focuses were, what were they? Can I remember without having to go back? I'm going to be doing reading and screen boundaries. We are December. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, that is done. And that is it for this video. I hope that was helpful for you. Don't forget about our Black Friday sale. So just real quick, I want to show you and remind you, our Christmas dashboards are in there. Our gift tracker, Christmas gift tracker. I love this so much. Isn't it cute with the little presents on the top? And then we have our contacts. So this was added this month as well. So there's a spot for 12 on each side. So 24 contacts that you can store on one sheet for name, phone number, email, and address. All right. And then our Christmas tree dashboard and our notes pages, our new notes pages, which we have both the pumpkin in there, even though pumpkin season's kind of over, but it's seasonal. So we do have a seasonal section that you'll be able to find the pumpkin notes page as well as the winter themed one with the snowflakes. So those are in there, as well as the weekly task card. We made a winter version with the snowflakes. Yeah, and just, all sorts of fun things. Lots of new things that we've added to the shop. And of course, all of our functional inserts. So if you like this aesthetic with the pink, we also have a light gray version. Everything that we make a light gray version as well, for those of you who would prefer a more neutral aesthetic. All right. But yeah, if you like a functional yet really pretty aesthetic, then I hope that you will check out our website and see what we have in there. We have everything in 4 sizes: Franklin Covey Compact, Personal Wide, which is this size. I use Personal Wide in my Franklin Covey Compact binder, A5 as well as half letter, right? So I hope this was helpful and enjoyable, whether you are a female entrepreneur or business owner, or even just a planner girl that works a regular 9 to 5 and you're trying to build a better system so that you can stay accountable to your goals. Then I hope that this video accomplished that for you. If you would like one-on-one help and support with your planning system, or even organizing your business, what kind of inserts you need for your business, we do offer consultation services. Everything is linked down below. Feel free to check that out. All right, so thanks again for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.